Do it again, harder.
Oh. The meeting is called to order for the April 17th, 2025 Harahan City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, the pledge, please.
Please stand for the pledge. Mayor Dietzway is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want you to hold for you 1 second. So I'm going to read the proclamation now while I got you right here. Okay, so we have a proclamation. This is Mayor Dietzway. He's been the mayor of today. He's been doing a phenomenal job, and I think he's actually got us a lot of grant money, and he trimmed everybody's taxes. So when he's ready, look, we need to be voting for him. It says, whereas the city of Harahan values the contribution of its youngest citizens and seeks to promote civic education and community involvement amongst its youth, and whereas the role of mayor is vital to the success of the city, ensuring that he needs and concerns of all residents are addressed, and inspiring the next generation of leaders. Whereas Bennett Dietzway, an outstanding student at St. Rita Catholic School, has been selected to serve as mayor for the day to gain valuable insight into the responsibilities of local government and represent the voice of their peers, and whereas the experience will provide an opportunity for Bennett Dietzway to actively participate in city affairs and learn more about the important work that keeps the city of Harahan running smoothly. Now and therefore, I, Timothy Baudier, Mayor of the city of Harahan, do hereby proclaim Mayor Dietzway as Mayor of the Day, and encourage all citizens to join him in supporting and celebrating the future leadership of this community. Mayor Dietzway, thank you very much. It has been an honor to serve with you today. You are the man, and you have done a wonderful job. I will take it from here. Stand right here in the middle.
Oh yeah, y'all want to, Mr. Paul, you want to take a picture?
Turn around, let's look this way.
Too cute.
Again, thank you.
Good job.
It's been an honor.
All right. We're going to roll
Guys,
right.
just so y'all know, we spent a day with him, and he asked a lot of good questions. We went to the police department, spent some time at the police department, went to the fire department. I think the mayor had everything under control, and then all of a sudden he asked a tax question. The mayor's like, what? He just asked me this? So he did a great job. I'm very proud of him for coming, and he did it proudly, and we're proud to have him do it. Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, roll call.
All right, roll call. Councilman Ansville.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Ricks.
Present.
Mayor Baudier.
Present.
Police Chief LaPree. Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry. Myself, Carrie Hustis, Clerk, is present. Mayor's announcements.
Okay, first in the mayor's announcements, we do. Yeah, well, we sorry about that. Air conditioner kind of glitched out on us this evening, so we're sorry about that one, but we'll make it through it. So we want to recognize Kingfish Boxing Club and the Golden Glove State Champs. Are you guys here?
Yep.
Can you guys please stand up? Maybe come on up and come introduce yourselves. And Coach, tell us a little bit about how great y'all are.
Well, I want to thank y'all for having us here. We've been here before, one time before. And,
Yes, sir.
And, of course, everybody knows that we came from Kenner. I am trying to fix the Facebook page to make it Kingfish Boxing Club. It used to be Kenner Boxing Club. And thanks to the city of Harahan and Rob, who owns the camp, he brought us over here, and we've been doing a lot of good things here. We're a nonprofit. We're 501c3, and it's a free program for the kids, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And as they progress, if they want to, if they choose to, we teach them boxing. It's non-contact. Our motto is God, Family, Education, and Boxing. Harahan has been, it's been really, really great because this is historical. I used to come bring my teams to the Harahan gym to do fights here when you had Jack Fernette and Mr. Barbera there's a lot of history here, and he actually showed me some even older history. So we've been there for now 2 years, and it takes a while to develop. Some newer students, some of them that came with me since Kenner. So I'll introduce you to Golden Gloves is a nationwide thing all over the United States of America, and every state has a Golden Gloves champion. Like the best boxers from that state represent that state in the next tournament. So this is in this weight division, these are the best in all of Louisiana. This is Devin Edwards, and he fights at 165 pounds. So he is the Golden Gloves champion at 165 pounds for the state of Louisiana. This is Jalen Fort. He's at 132 pounds. He's the Golden Gloves champion, 132. This is Bradley Fuentes. He's 143 pounds. And that's my other coach over there, David Palacios. He's been with me a couple of years, used to box. And that's Alex Hernandez over there. He's 176 pounds, and he's the champion. All these guys fought 4 times. And actually, a couple of them fought 2 times when West Monroe is where they held it. All the teams came together in West Monroe, 98 boxers, and some teams brought 12 fighters, some brought 8, 6, 5, but we only brought 4. But out of all these teams and all these fighters, we actually won the team trophy for most wins. It was called the Elite Division, the best boxers. And these young men who help the generation of the other fighters that are coming up, the little guys, these are the ones that help. We have an adult training program, which is just anybody who just wants to get in shape, it's non-contact. All of them put their work in, and all of them, so when we travel, of course, it's expenses, and our nonprofit is funded through that adult program. So, I pay for their, the hotel, we have food, we have travel, they have to eat over there, so there's a lot of expenses involved, but they've earned it, and you're looking at the best in Louisiana at their weight division, right there. So our next trip is to Nashville, where we have to represent Louisiana. And this is Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and even Oklahoma. So if they win there, then they go to the national tournament. Then they'll be the best in all of the United States of America. And that's what we do.
Can we bring them up, take a picture? Can we? Yep. Yeah, we're gonna bring y'all up so we can take a picture with y'all.
Sure thing.
Can you get us?
Nashville. Yes, sir. Down a little bit.
Okay, next we want to recognize Boy Scout Troop 115. Recently held a meeting that Councilman Asbill attended, and he spoke to the troops about what it means to be a citizen in our community. And they are here visiting today, so welcome to you guys. And if you guys have any questions for the council or would like to come up and address the council, now's your time. Troop 115. Councilman, you want to add to it?
Yeah. Just got a quick proclamation here. City of Harahan, Office of the Mayor, City of Harahan proclamation recognizing Boy Scout Troop 115 for their commitment to citizenship and civic engagement. Whereas the principles of good citizenship, civic responsibility, and community involvement are essential to the health and vitality of our democratic institutions. And whereas the Boy Scouts of America instill these values in youth through their programs that emphasize leadership, service, engagement with civic life. And whereas members of Boy Scout Troop 115 have demonstrated a sincere commitment to learning about the responsibilities of citizenship and the functions of local government by choosing to attend a meeting of the Harahan City Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Harahan City Council hereby recognizes and commends Boy Scout Troop 115 for their active participation in the civic life of our community and applauds their dedication to become informed and engaged citizens. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Troop 115 in appreciation of their commitment to the values of service, leadership, and community. And we encourage all citizens to join me in supporting and celebrating the future leaders of our community. Signed, Jason Asbill, Councilman, City of Harahan. Thank you, boys. Can we get a representative, adult leader, and a youth to come up and accept the proclamation? tell you, I went and spoke to the Boy Scouts a couple of weeks ago. They train over at St. Rita. It was really engaging conversation. Even got a question about Purple Martins, which would put me on the spot a little bit. But I was happy to do it. Glad they were here. Y'all come on up and take a picture if you don't mind.
We're doing that.
Boy Scouts.
How you doing? All right. Yes, sir. Very nice to meet you.
Don't want to hold that.
Yeah, I can hold that.
Thanks, guys.
That's because you're so pretty. It's all we need. You can move on to number 2.
Move to number 2.
And then, Mayor, if you don't mind,
mind.
instead of waiting till reports, I just want to do one more thing.
Go ahead.
So a couple weeks ago, Harahan obviously has some recreation leagues. Some of our teams have been doing really well in addition to our nonprofits and our youth groups. The 11 and 12-year-old soccer team won the parish championship. And also the 13 to 15-year-old, our teenage team, won the parish championship a few weeks ago. So if you see any of those soccer players around town or their parents, congratulate them. They did a great job.
Good job.
Mayor, this is for you. That's the team black. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, we ready to roll?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move into special presentations. And we're going to go to special presentation number 2 with the FEMA update.
You want me to take it? Okay. Might as well. Look. Yeah.
Might as well be you, Brian.
Brian Wallace. FEMA update, got some great news, relatively great news. It looks like we're going to get a new fire station. It's not going to be repaired. It's going to be torn down, and we're going to replace it. It's been a very long, hard process to get to that point. Almost impossible, but we did it. It took a lot of effort from the team here at City Hall. Carrie Eustace, Cherie Johnson, fantastic. The mayor on our case all day and all night about it, but it's happening. Now the next step is, what's the next step? And I feel very confident that we'll be able to break ground possibly this year, which is great. And hopefully we'll have a new fire station in 2026. But we're moving forward, and I know that's been a concern for all the citizens. We do have a couple other, projects that we're working on. They're smaller, but everything's been pretty much signed off and closed out. We're just kind of following a few loose ends. It's taken a while, a minute, but in some effort, but we're there.
The question is, the new fire station, are you going to build it across the street? Or
Well,
you're
that's
going
to
to
be
build it where we
determined.
got it now?
We've had, again, I think we're at the point now where we've got the okay from FEMA to replace it. Now where it goes, there's been talk about several different areas.
I know we talked about putting it across the street in that corner.
In the corner is one
horseshoe
area.
pit used to be.
There's some
in that corner.
challenges. There's some challenges there because the pump
Yeah.
to the river runs through there.
Yeah,
There's
that's where the
also
pump to the river runs up in that area. Yeah.
also generis. Do we close it off and becomes a dead end? There's a lot of can we put it next to the pump to the river station? On the
Well,
newsreel
pump to
ground
the
there.
river runs right under there, runs right through the playground.
Right, can we put it, there's a space right next to the pump to the river, like on the opposite side of the sewer plant?
Right.
I don't know. Will Jefferson Parish let us do that? Do we want to do that? I don't know. Do we want to put it where the maintenance building is?
The reason why I asked the question, because I know that was mentioned,
Yeah.
and that's why I asked if y'all.
Yeah, I think Donovan Duffy with Meyer Engineering, he's kind of taking the lead now, which is great. And he'll be able to kind of address those in a more professional manner than I certainly can. But we've let him know what our feelings are about it. The great thing about if we build it, in a different location, we don't have to put a temporary setup, which is more cost. So I think the feeling is that we're going to have it at a different spot. It's just where, in that general vicinity area, and that's to be determined. And I hope quicker rather than later, right?
Council, so we've asked a lot of questions still. We don't have answers. Are they going to allow us to put it somewhere else? Will they allow us to put it where the maintenance facility is? If they allow us to put it where the maintenance facility is, then we don't have to build a temporary housing. By the time you build a temporary, if you had to tear down what we have and relocate the sleeping quarters and the trucks, you know, the cost we're going to spend for that, they might allow us to leave it there, go where the maintenance facility is, and after we finish, put a new maintenance facility or something next to it, you know, instead of wasting this money and double spending. But, I mean, we're dealing with the federal government. Who knows what they're going to allow us to do? So we still have a lot of questions. And like he said, I believe Myers Engineering's working on that with us, and I think we'll all have some input and say before a decision's made. But I think we all want to, we know it has to stay in that general location because that's centrally located in the city. If it's moved to another location, they can make us add another fire station. You know, so we're going to stay in that general area. We just need to see where they'll allow us to go. It just doesn't make sense to us to build a big, expensive temporary facility to store the fire trucks and relocate the housing trailer if we could stay there and build the building next door.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson, we looked early on at temporary facilities for the fire station, and it runs $300,000-$400,000 just for a very simple temporary fire station. So you're looking at maybe even up to $500,000. So it'd be ideal, it'd be smarter if they just let us build it somewhere else. But smart isn't always in the room when the decisions are being made at that level. But that's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good update.
Okay, special presentation number 3, Park of Heroes dedication update.
So I'll talk a little bit about Park of Heroes, and then I'll let you. So the Park of Heroes, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to make it out to the playground to visit Park of Heroes. It's really, it was definitely something personal for me in the beginning, and there's a history behind why we engaged in Park of Heroes and how it started, and then how it ended up. When I was running for office, my first time here, I didn't win office, and a gentleman named Charlie Zarang, who was an electrician, was actually wiring my company at the time, and asked me if I would run for office again, if he'd help me, because he liked my message. And at that time, Councilman Tim Walker had stepped down, and there was an interim seat open. And so Mr. Charlie came to me, and after a lot of coaxing, because I didn't really know if I wanted to run again after I lost the first time, because I took it very heartfelt. And he talked me into running again, and he helped me through my first campaign, and he helped me win. And as I'm starting to, I have a year and a little more than a year here, and as I started to wrap up my tenure here as mayor, I wanted to leave something incredible for the city, something, maybe a fingerprint that I would have some involvement in, and that someone would notice and see, something that'd be above the ground. And so Brian and I started on this journey of how do we honor the Zarang family. And initially, of course, we have Zarang Park here, which we wanted to do some things there. We had some issues that we came across trying to do it there, so we found a better spot at the playground and started redoing the whole walking track and around the playground. And as we're honoring the Zarang family, we found that there were 14 others that had paid the ultimate price for Louisiana American Harahan's freedom. And so we've chose to honor all those families, as well as a couple other little dedications that are in there, some little side notes that we think were really important. And then from there, Chief of Staff Brian Wallace really helped me grow the vision and grow it to where it is today. And it is something we are very, very proud of. And we will do the ribbon cutting on it next Friday, and we should have several foreign dignitaries there and a lot of state and local officials. And I will let Chief of Staff Brian Wallace take it from there.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, this has been a 4.5-year journey. It did started right here. Well, the original Zarang Park is up at the top. It was dedicated in 1948, and this won't be a long history lesson, but that's the original Zarang Park dedication that took place it was originally named Moisant Park, but when I came here, I was curious on what Zarang was, and as the mayor mentioned, it was named after two brothers, Philippe and Felix Zarang. We wanted to do something really special, but I also didn't want to, miss anybody. And so we started doing some digging, and We came up with 14 others. This was at the Army-Navy Club, I guess 4 years ago plus. That's the CEO of Volkswagen in the red jacket up there. This is a German general right here who also visited with us. It was a big event, a big kickoff, but we really didn't know what we were getting into at this point. We thought it was going to be something a little bit smaller. But here it is, what it looks like. It actually looks a little better even today because the grass is growing in. We wanted to do something really impactful. The flags of remembrance represent, of the 16 kids that have perished in various conflicts, 7 of them are never coming home. They're either buried overseas or they're at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. And we wanted to remind people that there is a very heavy price to pay. 7 of our fellow citizens never came home, and their families never got to see them again, or at least pay their last respects. And so what you'll see is their flags up there are a reminder of where their bodies rest today. The water wall, 16 feet tall, a lot of symbolism out there. There are 9 columns in the front representing the 9 veterans around the park. The 7 dragon teeth represent the ones that are never coming home. When you pull up, you'll see the really neat thing about this whole project as it evolved with a number of people that wanted to help us that have no connection to Harahan. So the American Battle Monuments Commission, which is based in D.C., they manage and operate 37 military cemeteries, American military cemeteries around the world. They let us, they commissioned us these Art Deco posters. They let us use them so that we could signify where our veterans are lying, our citizens are lying. So Thomas Picconi's buried in the Manila Cemetery. There's some pictures there of Thomas Picconi. Jacob Nippert, he's one of 644 sailors that was on the USS Luscombe Bay that have never even found the ship. So he's memorialized in Honolulu. I tried to find a photograph of each one to really personalize things. And we wanted to tell a story. We just didn't want to put their name up because I'll be honest with you, the World War II guys, it was hard to find information on that. That generation is gone. Their kids are gone. Their nieces are gone. Well, there are a few left. Jules Haydell's daughter was 6 months old when he died. She came out to visit the panel. She had never seen his grave marker in Belgium, and she was really, really thrilled about it. Obviously, the water wall has been a big hit photo-wise. During the ice storm, we let it run. The pool guy said, just let it run. And it held up really, really nicely. At night, it's illuminated. And again, it kind of gives it a D.C. look that Councilman Walker came out there to visit, and he said, this doesn't belong in Harahan, this belongs in D.C., and we feel like that's what we wanted to try to mimic. Now, the Inukshuk is a recent addition out there. We've got a great relationship. It's odd with the Canadian government. Susan Harper, who's the Canadian Consul General, is a great person. Lee Kane, who works at the embassy, was just here today. And he's all excited about this. And interestingly enough, Canadian companies have contributed $35,000 to this project. So we thought it would be in our best interest to kind of pay homage to them a little bit. So the Inukshuk is a Inuit Eskimo marker used to signify a sacred place. So we thought that would be a nice little touch as you walk around the track. When you walk around the track, the other 9 heroes are memorialized, their stories are told. Salvador Rando, it's my favorite story, but it's also the saddest one. He was 17 years old when he died on Iwo Jima. He enlisted in the Marine Corps at age 16. And you read his story and all their stories. Here's some of the people that have come out, some of the relatives. That's Don Dusang, whose son Robert Dusang died in Iraq, up in the upper left-hand corner. Jules Haydell's daughter and his granddaughter came to visit as well. Clifford Rayburn, just everyone. The Salvador Rando's nieces came to visit. They're down at the bottom. Ray Picconi, and there's Lieutenant Governor Nungesser who's come out and will be speaking as well next week. Now, also in the corner, I heard this rumor always about this pseudo guy that was arrested during World War II, and I kept doing research, and I was spelling his name wrong. But he was a Harahan citizen of Japanese descent, married American gal, had 2 kids, 2 sons. He was interned right after Pearl Harbor. He was sent off to Santa Fe and never saw his family again. He died there. He never saw his family again. His oldest son fought in the U.S. Army during World War II, by the way, while he was interned. So we thought it was just a really nice touch to honor him and to tell his story. It's an important story to tell. Although sad, it's very important. And really interesting, in the FBI report, I got the FBI report, Mayor Mayo, his neighbors, they all testified in his favor. I mean, the mayor said he's known him for 12 years, he's never a problem. His neighbors thought very highly of him, but they still shipped him off. On the backside, and I'll go through this, interesting, at Camp Harahan, people know it as Camp Harahan or Camp Ploche, it was the same thing. It was Camp Harahan from 1942 to 1944 until they started getting prisoners. And so on the backside, we'll go through a little bit of each segment of it was a very important camp. About 400,000 troops actually went through Camp Harahan, mostly rail, port, a lot of services. Every mule that was shipped overseas during World War II came through Camp Harahan. And again, I touched base on a little bit of everything, the rail units. The port units were at D-Day. Utah Beach, there were at least three regiments, and they were responsible for offloading all the supplies that helped march across Europe. There's the mules. I love that picture in the upper, that's somewhere in Burma, and that mule actually was here in Harahan at one point. The Italian prisoners, the POW became a POW camp, and they named it Camp Ploche. Those are actually German prisoners on their way out to St. Charles Parish. I don't know where, but it's somewhere here in Harahan on the truck. There's an airfield, Williams Outlying Naval Landing Field. There's a marker near the Walmart. I think the Walmart marker is a little off. This is probably more close to the racetrack. I've been back there looking around, but it was a landing field. Freiburg Mahogany won 2 Army-Navy Excellence Award. They were right over here. They provided all the they made plywood sheets for all the Higgins boats. And then the medical field units were big here, including the malaria units. And those are actually pictures, not the one at the top, but them in the field somewhere here in Harahan. And I said, well, no better place to learn about mosquitoes than here. And that's it. So the formal dedication next Friday at 11 a.m. It's front of the Harahan gym. It's open now, so we encourage everyone. I know that there's some people here that have been and I've gotten a lot of great compliments. We've done a lot of stuff also, not only with the heroes, but we've upgraded the drainage system. I know the houses along Colonial took in water. We've upgraded all the drainage there. We've done a beautification program out there. We've got 50 Japanese magnolias that we've planted, 8 Kwanzaa blossoms that we've planted. We've just got another live oak that we've planted, a magnolia tree that we've planted. And then we've done all the landscaping around each of the memorials. So we've also done the ADA compliance, which the mayor's talked about at length. We've made everything ADA compliant out there, and it's really kind of the start of trying to make the city ADA compliant. We had the picnic areas, which had wheelchair accessible tables, but you couldn't get to the picnic. You couldn't get to them. So that's been all up to speed. We've got an ADA compliant bathroom out there now. So it's just the start of, this is like a little ripple, a rock in the pond that starts a ripple, and we hope to continue this at Zerang and throughout the rest of the city. But that's it. You're more than welcome to come attend the dedication next week. It should be pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Guys, I know we have this Troop 115 in here. If y'all would like to go out there to the park, I'm a volunteer. Park Ranger Brian Wallace to walk that park. He's done it plenty of times, but I promise you, if you get in touch with me, we'll make arrangements and have Brian come out there and give y'all a tour of that park. 11 o'clock.
11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. And it's interesting because we've already had several unannounced school, I guess, impromptu field trips. I think Keo France actually stopped out there just to have lunch, and it turned into I had to take everyone around and explain it to them. And so it's not a problem. It's a passion of mine. I think it's very important. It's important for the city. It's important to know your history, the importance of the history, and it's something that we could all be very, very proud of. It's very sad, but it's very, very, very proud. Finally, and what should also make everyone proud, and this will be it, I promise, is the financing of this. We did get $205,000 from the state, but we've had that matched in corporate and private donations. So we've done a tremendous job in trying to raise the money to put this on with I would say very little cost to the city, other than our matching fund from the state. And the corporate donations continue to come in. Again, Delta Airlines, we've been talking to Boeing. I mean, companies that DuPont, ADM, and the Canadian companies, like I said, have been just absolutely fantastic. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
I'd like to say something. Brian, I would just like to say that I've never seen someone take with so much heart and dedication such a magnificent project as you have on this. I will say that.
Yeah, you want to do it now?
Yeah, I think while we're on that.
Yeah, that's why we want.
Since we're on, I was going to talk about it in the reports, but since we're on the dedication for next Friday, the 25th, we invite and encourage everybody to come out. Brian's done an excellent job. It's just a history lesson of our city and the pride that we have. But since we're on that, I did have a security meeting with several of the council folks earlier this week. We are going to shut down Colonial from Hickory and 10th to 9th Street. We'll make that a one-way coming off of Hickory to go south on Colonial. At 9th Street, you'll have to turn up 9th to get back up to Hickory. We're expecting probably 300 or 400 folks coming out. We have several dignitaries coming out. We have a lot of the state officials. Tim's really done a great job promoting this. I believe it was announced at the Capitol yesterday that several of the state reps, House Speaker and all, I believe, are coming. The governor, I think, is coming, the lieutenant governor, and y'all can speak on the other consulates that are coming from, I believe, Belgium, France, and Canada. So, but for security, we want you to come out, and enjoy it, but understand Colonial will be shut down probably till roughly around 2 o'clock, 2:30 or so. I think there's a reception in the gym afterwards, so we're asking the public to be careful, be safe, come out. If you can walk to get there or ride a bike, we encourage it. We will have handicap parking, and there will be VIP parking for the dignitaries and the elected officials that are coming in. But come out. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like. Hopefully it's cool. Hopefully it's going to be beautiful, but come out and enjoy and take in the history lesson. But Colonial will be shut down, turned into a one-way until after the event's over. So.
Chief, do you have recommended parking? Because 300 or 400 people is going to...
Well, they have parking on the north side of the playground where the horseshoes
Yes.
used to be.
Yes.
So we'll have Colonial hopefully across the street. We will have officers stationed at Hickory and 10th to shut down traffic to get people across. We will have handicap parking. We'll have the department side-by-side and golf cart available to pick people up if they need to be transported, further. If we run out of handicap parking,
Right.
we're willing to work. We have LCMC will be out with a medical unit standing by at the event just in case we need something. But yeah, parking will be a premium.
Lions Club,
Especially if all these,
VFW.
if everybody does show up that says they're coming. But it would be important for the citizens of Harahan to come out just to be a part of this historic event. This is It's going to be a big event, and it's going to be really nice, and we encourage everybody to come out and participate and learn a little bit more about the city.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
You ready for me to move on?
Mr. Mayor, move to amend the agenda to add proposed resolution 2025-4, which is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan adopting the 2024 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to amend the agenda to add proposed resolution number 2025-4. We'll now open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak for or against? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain to amend the agenda. All in favor?
Yay.
A 5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, the agenda is amended.
Okay. Going on to approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on March 20th, 2025.
Okay, can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the council meeting from March 20th, 25? We have a motion by Councilman Ricks. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Buddy to dispense with the reading of the minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on March 20th, 2025.
Okay, can I get a motion by Councilman Asbill to approve those minutes? We'll now open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor? We have a second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor to approve those minutes?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, the minutes are approved.
Okay, no communications, resolutions. Proposed resolution 2025-3, the following resolution was offered unanimously by the council, a resolution accepting the municipal water pollution prevention environmental audit report for the period of January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, and to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the following actions were taken and additional actions will be taken by the city of Harahan.
Okay, we'll now open for public hearing on proposed resolution 2025-3. Anyone come to speak for or against? We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion? No council discussion? Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Ricks to approve proposed resolution 2025-3. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, resolution is approved.
Okay, proposed resolution 2025-4, the following resolution was offered unanimously by the council, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan adopting the 2024 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire.
I would say we're now open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak on proposed resolution 2025-4? For or against? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion? No council discussion. This was done unanimously, but we'll have a motion by Councilman Ricks, second by Councilman Buddy to approve. All in favor?
Yay.
Abstain.
4 yeas
You abstain?
and 1
One
abstention.
abstain.
Okay.
Abstain.
4 yeas and 1 abstention, Madam Clerk.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance 2025-2. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2018, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025 for the capital project fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana for a sound system for press boxes.
Okay, anyone wanting to speak on proposed ordinance 2025-2, please come to the podium. No one coming forward. We'll now close public hearing. We'll open for council discussion. Councilman Chatelain?
Guys, this is basically allowing us to put sound and speakers and announcements for when the kids are playing ball at the playground on all three of the fields, the Wilcox Field, the Dixie Youth Field, and the Arsenault Field, to allow us to announce the kids, play music in between innings, and it's basically speaker system for all 3 fields. Thank you.
Any other council discussion?
What does that cost?
The cost was right at $12,000.
12?
Right under $4,000 a piece, so right at $4,000 a piece.
That includes the electrical and all?
That's everything.
Everything?
The electrical's there, they plug in, the guys come up, put the sound, the speakers.
Any
they'll have
warranty?
Permanent micros.
Any warranty on that? You know?
I'm sure it needs a reputable company that can install it.
It's all going to be wired into the boxes.
It's gonna be wired in, yes. Each press box will have.
Each press box.
announcements with a microphone.
Thank you.
I gotta double check. I asked them if you could do one wireless microphone, that maybe they can move around, just in case you're having a big game and they don't like the national anthem on the field. So he's supposed to check to see if he could add that in there for us as well. Just that way, one person could go on the field, sing the national anthem or something like that, instead of being stuck to the press box.
Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, maybe, something.
Something, yeah, I don't know what it was, but he said he's going to see if he could throw that
Okay,
on that.
great.
That wasn't in the original quote, but he said he could probably get that thrown in.
Do we have a flag on the field?
We do.
We have a flag
We
we
do?
just installed next to the concession stand.
So there,
That way it could be seen from all three fields.
All three fields.
8 by 16, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
big flag.
Good.
I think a 60-foot pole.
Yeah, perfect.
Move to approve.
And Mayor Dietzway is doing such a phenomenal job, we'll have him come out and sing the national anthem. How you like that? All right, so we have a motion to approve proposed resolution 2025-2, proposed by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, ordinance is approved.
Okay, we have no new ordinances for introduction. Old business, planning and zoning board appointment.
Okay, I don't believe we have any planning and zoning appointments. Madam Clerk, Councilman Asbill, can we make a motion to defer to the next council meeting?
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth will close public hearing. All in favor to defer?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
Okay, new business. New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director with monthly financials.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Just a brief update from the finance team. We are in the middle of the audit process this week. So the auditors have been on site this week. I know the staff in City Hall have been focused on addressing many of their questions this week. They'll have additional questions and additional work over the coming weeks. We expect to have a draft of the report in May with issuance of the report in mid-June. So I think we look to schedule the exit conference on June 18th. So we're on track. We're where we should be, and we'll continue to keep the council and the mayor updated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, new business number 2.
New business number 2, a letter from Judith Roman on behalf of St. Rita requesting assistance in planning the annual Feast of Corpus Christi procession. The procession is scheduled for Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, after the 9:30 a.m. Mass. In the past, the City of Harahan has been most gracious to provide barricades and/or a police escort as we process around the block. I respectfully request the inclusion of this event on the City Council agenda to obtain the necessary approvals. Thank you for your continued support of our parish.
Okay, so we're now open for public hearing. Anyone want to speak on proposed business, new business number 2? No one coming forth, and we'll now close public hearing. I guess we'll, all in favor?
What about the chief? What about the chief?
Up, Chief? Yep, Chief. So
You'll provide, okay.
So we'll have a motion by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, do we have a statement from, are you going to read the statement from?
Oh, I have it.
Chatelain's-
Okay.
He's going to do that during his
Okay.
report.
Got it. I'm sorry, I just thought about it. Squirreled. All right, Madam Clerk.
Address the council.
Okay, if anyone would like to address the council, please state your name and address at the podium.
Let me break that up for you, kind of weak.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Ms. Robin.
As far back as I can remember, all of our chief of police, they had an open door policy. You could always speak with them. On March 22nd, a Saturday, between 2 and 2:30, I was going out to my car. I saw this one male come from in between my house and my neighbor's house, and my fence is in the back. And then a second one come. I ran inside and I told my husband, you need to come out here quick. By the time he made it to the door, they were almost to the playground. I knocked on my neighbor's door and told them. And he said, I seen them walking over here, but I didn't know what they were doing. So the wife asked me, she says, call the police and tell them and see if they can catch them and see what they were doing and to ride around. And the husband asked me, he said, would you mind staying with my wife while I go get us something to eat? I said, not a problem. I stayed with her. The wood door was open. We were sitting at the table. I was facing the storm door, and I could see everybody passing. Not one police car came within 45 minutes. I gave them a description of the two males and nothing. So from now on, can you all tell me, should we just call Jefferson Parish and have Jefferson Parish come and take care of our issues? Or what should we do?
I would call, if,
Give me the date, time, and say
Yeah.
this happened. Did you call 911?
I called straight into the police thinking you all would be out there immediately.
so I would recommend, yeah.
Give me the date, time, when it happened, when it was.
Saturday, March 22nd, between 2 and 2:30.
Always call 911.
Always call 911. You don't have to call directly, you can call 911.
It's better for you to call 911, I think.
Okay. The other thing is, back in February, Councilman Aspel came and gave a conference to the social workers. It was a very, very interesting topic. And if you haven't addressed this with the council and the citizens, I think you ought to, because I think a lot of people could actually benefit from your program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rhonda back.
Okay, anybody else? We're going to close address to council?
Hey, can you hear me? 7612 Stoneleigh. My name is John Voce. How are y'all doing? I'm here today to talk about how much I love Harahan, first of all. I think it's fantastic. I grew up in Mid-City. When the sun went down, we never went outside. My kids, I pretty much let roam the streets within reason whenever they want. And I think it's important to really protect Harahan. Not only protect Harahan, but namely Imperial Woods. I live on Stoneleigh, which arguably is, I think it's the greatest street in the world, but some may disagree, and that's okay. You're able to do that here. But I've been dealing with a neighbor from 2020 to present, and I'm a little concerned because I think it's important that we not only protect Harahan and we protect our way of life, but I'm concerned, and I feel, in my opinion, that I'm right, that it is a duplex on Stoneleigh, and the address is 7608. I've worn you guys out. I think I've talked to you guys more in the last 5 months than I have in the last 5 years. So I moved into Harahan in 2018. Ron Heidenreich ended up passing away in 2020. We were great neighbors. Helped him change light bulbs and so forth. And now I'm dealing with this renovation. I don't really know where to start, but I am concerned. We've talked about a gas line that I feel is supplying a second kitchen. I also feel that it's still there. I was doing some gardening. I can see the pipe, and it's present. And we may agree to disagree the definition of a duplex, but in my opinion, a duplex is 2 separate living spaces with 2 entrances, 2 kitchens. It's got 2 interior staircases, 2 hot water heaters, 3 air conditioning units, 2 doorbells. I find that a little odd. So what I'm asking the council is to maybe just look into it a little bit more. The permit in its current form was issued on uh, 11/15, and our code enforcement didn't receive the updated plans until the 26th. The updated plans that I saw at City Hall this week do have 2 kitchens in it. When I asked the code enforcement guy if that was okay, he said that the pipe is okay to stay just in case they put a hot water heater or a dryer. But the plans say that it's a second kitchen. So that's where we're having a little bit of a disconnect here, and I'm just a little concerned. And I hope that the council can really stay on top of this, because the walls are closed in, and I've been complaining. Just to tell you how much I don't complain, there was a full dumpster in the backyard in the driveway for 2 years, and I didn't complain one time.
Yeah.
And now I'm complaining, and they put up a 9-foot wall in between us. Now, whether that's legal or not, I don't know.
I don't think that's.
No.
You can't have a 9-foot fence. We discussed that.
Yes, sir.
And also, 8 foot is your height requirement. But in addition to, I also did some research. Now, you can obtain a mother-in-law type of situation. Only a direct family. Now, as far as a duplex, my question was, do we have any ordinance in place to stop a duplex from being built in a residential R1 neighborhood?
Yeah, it's not allowed in R1.
Right, so that, if that is the case, that would have to be wiped clean.
Right.
You can't have that by law and by ordinance here in the city of Harahan. So, however, you can have your mother-in-law or someone in your direct family living in that space.
Correct.
So
But
if-
Mike, I was told by Molly that a second kitchen was not allowed. You can have a separate unit with a separate entrance,
Yeah.
but not a separate kitchen.
Mother-in-law suite.
Yeah, so you get into the
So,
definition of
yeah,
kitchen, right?
kitchen,
What
right.
is a kitchen?
What is a kitchen?
There has to be 3 major appliances to be considered a kitchen. If you only put 2 of the 3, because you're going to use the other one,
Right,
then it's not a kitchen.
right.
For example, if you have a shed, and look, I'll be the first to say, and, come at me, I guess, if we want to talk about personnel issues. No skin off Molly's back because she's not here anymore. Thank goodness. I think she's led the city down the wrong path a few times, including with this property. But it gets into the definitions, and there's really, I think, the only solution is to, unfortunately, wait and see what happens on what actually moves in there.
And look, I don't want to be here,
No, I know, I know.
but I feel obligated.
Sure.
The neighbors are concerned. Every person that passes by, I'm in my yard a lot, and they ask me, hey, what's going on there? I'm like, I really don't know. They
Well,
say, well, it
maybe-
looks like a duplex. I'm like, I'm not the only one that thinks this. So that's my only concern. The walls are closed. There was no noise coming out of the house, but they worked. It seems like they work after hours, which I find very strange. The sheetrock was installed from 4. I go to bed at 9:30 till after 9:30. One of my neighbors said, it looked like somebody was sleeping over there. And I'm going, well, there's no electricity.
Well, we need to find out if the inspection was done before the walls were closed in, number one. And number two, we'll keep an eye on it.
I appreciate
and-
that.
And understand that, whoever occupies that residence, if they're not in a direct relation with the family and have evidence of that, that will be squashed. They won't be able to, you'll disallow that. So.
John reached out to me probably 7 months ago.
Yes.
When the walls were still open. I believe we had it addressed. I brought it to Molly's attention. She went out there, and I was told they addressed the issues. Now, I do know, and I believe you might even have a copy, they had some inspections, the closed wall inspections were done. Did you get a copy of that?
I have a zip drive.
You
I've
didn't
got
have time.
all the information.
Yeah, so I do believe we had closed wall inspections on the property. But the other thing is, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. No. But I spoke to John Boudreau today, and basically he said, I can't cite them on the stove. They don't have a stove in there yet. So I believe we just need to keep a close eye on it. I believe
Here's
nobody
my
wants it
point.
to be a double.
What is the gas line there for? It's there for a stove.
I believe it was there for a stove originally,
Right.
but I was told it was taken out.
Well, I was told it would be taken out.
Yes, sir.
And apparently,
Thank you,
it is
Mr.
still
Buddy.
there.
I'm almost 100% certain that it's still there.
I was told today that it was removed.
The gas line?
I could go look and see myself in
Yeah.
the next day or two.
Wait.
Next week, tomorrow's holiday, but beginning of next week, I'll go look myself.
Yes.
And see if the gas line's still there. And if it is, I would have to ask the question, what's it for?
What's it for? And we have to speak in hypotheticals at this point. So what if? What if they do get the certificate of occupancy? What if they do pass all the inspections, and then I see them carrying a stove in?
So,
You got to see them
Or
carrying two
cabinets.
stoves.
Or 2 stoves, there you go. I can only count the one now.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
have we had a conversation with the owner?
Good luck. I don't even know who the owner is.
We don't
I've never
need
met him.
luck.
who the owner is.
Believe me, we don't need luck. We'll have the conversation with the owner. There's no luck involved, but, the owner needs to be aware that that will not be tolerated.
I had a conversation with the contractor and was led to believe he was going to remove the gas line.
Well, the contract is not the owner.
And I did have a conversation with the son-in-law, and the son-in-law told me that the owner and her family were going to move in. And I expressed my concerns to him. I said, it looks like a duplex, though. And he said, I promise you it's not a duplex. But then the plans come in on 11/26/24, and it's set up as a duplex. Now, they did have opening doors on the plans. That's, Kerry's got them. But who's to say that they're not going to close that in when it's all said and done, right?
So,
So-
did you say something about recently revised plans that show 2 kitchens? Did I miss?
Oh, yeah, on 11/26, it was emailed to code enforcement.
11/26,
24,
The permit was issued on 11/15.
and it shows
in the
2 kitchens.
2 kitchens.
So I think that's the confusion on taking it out. I saw the second gas line. And then I came to see the plans at City Hall, and I was told by Molly that they're taking it out, as in taking out the second kitchen. But the gas line was staying, which is suspect. I mean, obviously, you can use a gas line for many things. It can be a fireplace. It can be a number of things. It's an odd position for a fireplace. It's an odd spot for a water heater or anything else.
Common sense.
So, yeah, so I think that's the confusion is they were,
It was verbally.
right, they told that they were taking out the second kitchen, but the plans were never submitted.
Correct. The plans or the
For the taking
updated
out.
permit
Yeah, for taking out.
was granted without the plans. Then the plans came on the 26th. I've got the email, and I was told from December to current to date, or I guess January-ish, that the second kitchen was not going to exist. But everything was verbal. But the pipe, the gas line, is still there.
Well,
But
Eric
you
said he'll
believe
go by.
it's still.
I think it's still there, yes.
Eric said he'll go by and check it out.
Go
and
next week and see if the owner's
Yeah, I
will
was
let
in
me
there probably.
I'm not going to go on a property until I
Correct.
knock on the door and see if the owner or someone will let me in.
While you're on the property, can you check out the yard? So, I've been dealing with that as well. I mean, it's an eyesore.
Did you ever your dye test done? Your dye test ever get done?
Never got, I was, so, let's rewind. In August, they came in and they dug probably around 4 feet down the alleyways. They replaced it with mud, sand, and some limestone. The limestone, everybody knows that limestone diverts water. It doesn't drain water. So it's propped up around 5 inches higher than my property. So when it rains, my property fills up. So namely in the storm around 1 o'clock, my wife and I had to go relieve some of the water because it had built up so high. I was promised a flood test. The flood test, she said she ordered the dye, but the flood test was never performed. Now, since then, they have done at least 2 or 3 yards of mud in the front yard. They dug a tunnel to a half bath that's underneath the second stairwell. All that mud is now on the front lawn. So the slab that they built up to entrance number 2 is a 2x4, so let's say it's 3.5 inches. Their front lawn now sits at least 3.5 inches higher than my property. So I had to dig a trench. I had to remove limestone off my property, and it's getting to the point now where it's just,
Well, you can't drain on someone else's property. So we'll have to address that with John Boudreau. And, I think that the course of action is to wait and see and
Yes.
start to demand some answers now from the landowner, not
and
the
look,
contractor.
y'all have been fantastic.
I do believe
And
I
I
went
thank
there.
you guys so much.
I went there when it was a real mess, when they were digging on the side. I drove by, and I didn't go when it was raining again. When I went one time when it was raining, it was bad. But it looked like they cleaned that up and handled the drainage a little bit, but I didn't go when it was raining. So
Right.
I'm not there seeing if it's puddling or not. I'm just visual and looking from the street.
Sure.
If we
Y'all
get a
ca-
rain
y'all
and I'm
can't be-
available,
y'all
I'll
can't
drive
be-
by.
Y'all can't be everywhere all at once. I totally understand that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Baldwin.
But thank you for your time.
You got it.
Sorry
I think
it
you
took
got
so long.
everybody's attention.
Yep, thank
Thank
you.
you. I
Yes,
just
sir.
felt as though I
John,
needed to make it a little bit
I
more
did go see
public.
Bob Molly too, because you had come about that side with the limestone and everything. I came to City Hall and told her about them building it up, and I told her about going out there and check that out. And she said, well, the neighbor needs to stay off the property. I said, well, he's concerned about his property. You need to go out there and check it out and see what's going on. And I said, also, you can't have two kitchens in a house. This is R1 zone.
Correct.
You can't have two kitchens in the house. So she knows. There's some issues in Harahan. I mean, Molly's a nice lady. I'm glad she's going. Because they had issues in Harahan that I didn't agree with things she did and what she approved. And I told the mayor over the years she was here, but, I'm just a councilman. I'm
Thank you.
not that, so.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
You got one more.
Oh, you got one more, I'm sorry.
I would just follow up on that is I would suggest to the city that the regulatory department has investigatory powers and right of entry powers in the code, and that we should use those for a building official to go in and do an investigation into what is really happening with the property.
Mayor, do we know if a certificate of occupancy has been
It's not been
issued?
issued
has
yet.
not been
So there's been no final inspection?
No.
Right.
And I'm sorry, 1 second. Just want to address this. Being that we have failed in the regulatory department, even on, down the street from my house, that
Yeah.
house has been abandoned for, 10 to 12 years. Who are we putting in charge of that?
Yeah, and so I just looked, and it can be a contracted CBO to go in and do that at the direction of the mayor.
All right, can you do that? Can you get that done?
We're working right now. We've been
Okay,
working
good.
on it.
All right, great. All right,
So
sorry.
maybe a follow-up. So I was appointed to the Planning and Zoning Board. I haven't heard a word. So since the beginning of the year, we've had no applications for planning and zoning? Really?
We haven't.
I served on the Planning and Zoning Board several years ago, and we never went 3 or 4 months without a meeting. Never.
Yeah, I really
We
don't
haven't
think-
had any applications for a resub.
The only resubs we had would have been administrative, which would have combined in 2 lots, which would have made the lots bigger, so it wouldn't have had to go in front of planning and zoning if it's residential. The mayor just
That's a
signs
little
off on that.
worrisome that there's so little activity in the city.
Well, I think part of it is a lot of the older parts of the city are being redeveloped on the same lots, right? So bigger houses on lots in Royal Land and things like that. I suspect that in the next year or two, the Planning and Zoning Board is going to be real busy with development on Colonial.
Well,
Is what I
I would
suspect.
hope so. But also that, there wasn't anybody coming to the planning meeting that we had with Bill Vaso last month. Mr. Johnson and I were the only ones there, and Steve.
Crazy.
Not a good look.
Well,
I'll tell you why I didn't go, because I didn't know who else was going and didn't want to discuss it with them, because as a council, at some point, we're going to have to vote on that. So I didn't
Well,
want-
I understand
yeah.
that, but I think it should have been better advertised, because everyone that I spoke to knew nothing of it.
So we will work on having the next one advertised a little better.
Thank you.
Basically, I think they're going to hit social media. That's the new way to
So
advertise.
I did look at social media a couple of days before the meeting, and I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw on the website was on the calendar, and I had to do a little digging to find that.
On the city's website, the calendar?
Yes. So, yeah, I do
What's on the
believe,
calendar?
the city, we have heard that complaint, and I do believe we're going to address it and have it advertised a
We need a
little
better
better.
website.
And I think they're looking for a different location. I think they might do it here, or possibly the senior center, and we're going to try to get more people involved.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, you don't think it's that the planning and zoning board members should be mandatory for them to go to these meetings with Steve Villavasso? It's the redoing of the comprehensive plan of the city. These guys are going to recommend to the council what we're going to vote on.
Yeah, I would offer that would violate the open meetings law if they went to
For the planning and zoning board to go, I don't think, you talk to Steve Villavasso?
They're a voting body, and they shouldn't consider it without an open meeting.
You sure?
I'm positive. They are subject to the open meetings law. Yes, sir.
That was my understanding
Yep.
also, Paul, that
I mean, these guys,
that
no, all he's doing is going over the
at some-
parish, over the city.
No, I
on what's
understand, but
going
at some
on.
point, it will be formally presented to the planning and zoning board to vote on. And then it'll be formally presented to the council to vote on.
and you know,
And so they should wait until, and we should wait until that time
but
to
that point, and I agree
to
with
hear
you
it.
that they should do all of their discussions regarding it in an open meeting, but when I was on the planning and zoning board, I took the opportunity to read the state laws. And it's not very specific what the planning and zoning board is supposed to do. My greatest understanding, whether it's correct or not, I was talking to Mr. Villavasso, but the zoning board should be driving the train. They should have had meetings at a public meeting with Mr. Villavasso
That's what I thought.
in draft stages.
That's what I'm thinking.
Steve's not driving that train except as the consultant. It's the zoning board's duty by law to drive this event, not to wait for somebody to give
I
them-
agree, and I assume that that's happened, but if it hasn't,
Well, if
then
it
it
did, it
probably
would have been
should.
hopefully in a public
I
meeting.
think Steve said, he's a consultant, like he's saying, he's advising, he's putting charts up on the board, and the planning and zoning board's there, and I thought that would be the way to go, and Steve didn't seem to think it was breaking any open law rules of them being there. He didn't say they shouldn't be there. I
Mayor,
don't,
Mayor,
I'm gonna
can-
talk to Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we could set up a meeting and get, I mean, I know we all can't meet with them all at the same time, but, I mean, if we could set up where two of us could meet with two of them and see if they could get this train driven and see where it goes. I mean, as y'all see, we got a hard time getting people to volunteer. You got a hard time getting people to show up at something like that. That's going to affect property value through the whole city. You know, that's going to affect the economic impact of the city. That's going to affect your property value from what your neighbor can do, what your neighbor can't do. That's going to affect drainage. That's going to affect so many different things. And people are busy. You know, people they don't have the time to come volunteer, and it's a shame. But we do need more people to step up. Maybe it was under advertised. We're going to do a better job advertising it. Let's hope we could get more people. I mean, you see, we got a hard time getting people to volunteer to be on these boards. It's just people have so much going on. If we could find some people that want to get on the boards, everybody up here is willing to talk to them and accept them. And if we could get two people from the board, then maybe we could talk to it and see if they could steer up a public meeting as well. I mean, I'm willing to help.
I mean, I don't disagree that every one of these meetings with Villavasso should be a public meeting, properly advertised with minutes and everything taken, that the Planning and Zoning Board puts on
Yeah.
as their meeting.
I think that's the approach.
I thought, to be honest with you, and because I've been out of the loop on this as well, because it hasn't been presented to me, I thought that those meetings already took place, and now they were presenting it to the public as town halls.
Well, that's what he's having, basically, an open meeting for the public to come through, so the planning and zoning board can come listen to what he has to say.
But that's,
So can we.
but that's backwards, because the planning and zoning board, it's their plan. It's not
He's
his plan to
putting
present to the
together the
public.
stuff.
I mean, I don't know where he's getting his input, is my
His
question.
stuff, okay, he's got stuff he's got together. He's been doing this for 50 years, I mean, and he did our plan 20 years ago.
Right,
So the first meeting is to get the community's input.
Right.
right.
And if the community doesn't show up, then who's got nothing to present as what the community wants for the future of the city.
Right, but that should be, the community input should be at a planning and zoning meeting.
Correct.
Not at some other little town hall or whatever we called it type meeting. So I would propose that for the next 3 or 4 months, that should be the planning and zoning agenda here at the council chambers for properly advertised, for the city to come have input, and that's what the planning and zoning meeting should be.
Then why contract with Bill Lasso from Master Plan?
Well, he's
guiding it.
He's your zoning board expert. He's the person that would help the zoning board develop the plan. But that requires that the zoning board is in this from the very beginning. So it would make a lot of sense to me. It makes no sense for him to be getting input that the zoning board's not hearing directly. So it would seem to me the way to do this would be to do it at a zoning board meeting, where the key players, zoning board, is present. You hear the citizens' input, because regardless of their input, you and your fellow board members are going to make the call. You need to hear everything that he hears. And again, he is an expert. He's got a resume that doesn't stop. But he's your expert.
I'm ready to go.
You guys are driving the train with his guidance, not getting a report after the fact and voting it up or down. That's contrary. Yeah, and again, I spent some time years ago talking to Steve to say, just what does the zoning board do? And yeah, and what my takeaway was that this is the job of the zoning board, to put together city zoning, the plan. Yeah, but
Make a recommendation.
right. But their job is to develop it and make a recommendation. That the development's key. So it's being developed without any input from the zoning board. Now, I know it's a draft, and if the purpose was, Steve, to get input from the community, that's very good. We want to do that. But I don't see the purpose of that happening if the zoning board's not hearing the same thing when it's said. So it would make sense for me to complete sense if this was done at a zoning board meeting.
Like I said, we'll have to get Steve's input.
That's right.
On that, but I can
Yeah.
tell you, that's not the way Steve teaches in his classes.
First place, the zoning people on the board aren't as knowledgeable as Steve Villavasso is. They're going to listen to what Steve recommends. They're not knowledgeable.
Then we don't need a zoning board. We can just hire
They're
Steve.
learning as they're, you getting people on the board
it's state
that
law.
girl was going to get on the board. She was the girl of a guy that just opened a business up. She never came back. But we were going to put her on the board because we don't have a board filled up. You have people on the board that aren't qualified, but we're doing it just to fill the board up. These people don't have the qualifications like Steve does. Steve is the guru of zoning, on land zoning and doing things with land in the city. He did our plan 25 years ago. We hired him in the 90s. He did our plan in 2003 when we did the plan of the city, and when we went January 1st of 2003, we started the new plan. He's the one that did it. We got to figure out a way. I don't agree with y'all saying, but maybe you're right. We got to get with Steve and find out what way we can do this. Steve's got to be involved. We can't let the planning and zoning board lead the charge because they're not knowledgeable enough to
No
lead the charge.
suggestion to
Yeah.
call Steve Villavasso. There's no suggestion to
Well, I got to
call
find out
Steve.
from Steve how we can make Steve be there where he can do it, where the planning and zoning can be there too. The way we can do it. That's all.
I would suggest that if
Whatever way we can do it.
I would suggest that if Mr. Villavasso doesn't know that it should be done in a public meeting, maybe we're giving him too much credit for what he's doing. However, we're not going to solve this problem here tonight as a council.
Right.
So I would just say we move on. We talk to Mr. Villavasso and tell him that he shouldn't do any more meetings unless it's a public meeting with the planning and zoning.
That's what I just said. We got to get Steve Villavasso and find out a way we can do it where we can get involved everybody.
All right, Madam Clerk, Secretary's report.
Secretary's report for March 2025, total revenues, $292,476.66. Reports.
Chief LaPree?
Finally cooling down. Just take your time.
Yeah.
I'll make it quick. The Harahan Police Department right now is looking to hire a records clerk. If anybody's interested, they can contact the Harahan Police Department, take the civil service test, and we'd love to speak with them. We are looking to hire more officers. We have 4 officers that are post-certified that have applied, that are in the process at this time. If you're going out of town for the holiday, go on the app and you can put in a patrol request for your property and let us know the dates that you'll be out, and we'll go check on the property while you're out of town having a good time. If you don't have the app, make sure you can go download the app to put in those patrol requests. If you don't have the app, you can call the Harahan Police Department, 504-737-9763, and you can put a patrol request in there. Please slow down in the school zone. School's still in full effect. So we are writing radar tickets in the school zone, so please slow down. There is that scam, the toll tag scam is still going around. We're getting calls on that. If you're getting a text on your phone saying you have a toll tag that's been unpaid, it is a scam. Let us know and disregard it. Just real quick, I think Eric hit on this last council meeting. We're getting some complaints about kids at the playground disrespecting the playground, the memorial, not listening to the playground staff. We've got patrols on that playground. If your kid is stopped, we will bring him to your house, and if we can't get it corrected, he could be banned from coming to the playground. We don't want to ban any kids from the playground, but they have to respect the gym, the money and the time and the effort that's been put into that playground to respect it. Everybody's there to enjoy it. We want them to enjoy it. There is absolutely no skateboarding, bicycles on that walking path. That walking path is a walking path. We're getting calls of people skating on it and skateboarding. We will start enforcing, making people respect the laws for that. Again, stay out of the fountain at the memorial. It's not a swimming pool. The parents need to keep eye on their kids. We're still getting those calls and complaints. But if we can't resolve it peacefully, we will start issuing citations and we'll take it to juvenile court. But they will respect the property that's out there. Again, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Come out next week again, April 25th. Be patient with the road being shut down to one way. There will be a lot of pedestrian traffic out there. So come out and have a good time, and I'll give the stats real quick. We had
Chief, do you want to mention a reunion on May 10th?
Yeah.
We won't have another meeting before then.
Yeah, it's true. I appreciate it. On May 10th, I've been working with a former longtime resident, actually an All-American. His father was actually the mayor. Tommy Wilcox is living in Alabama now, but he grew up here in Harahan. And I'm working with him, and the mayor's working with him. We're putting together a reunion at the Harahan Playground on May 10th from 12 to 4. It's for all Harahan athletes, people that participated, played at the playground in the 60s, 70s, 80s. From what I understand, we've had 400 responses from former athletes, people that participated at the playground. So we're going to have a reunion back there. We encourage everybody to come out, enjoy. We're going to try to have some food out there. But it's just going to be a nice reunion to meet a lot of folks. But Tommy Wilcox was a fantastic athlete. He was a senior when I was a freshman in high school. And he was the starting quarterback, and I was the incoming freshman quarterback. But Tommy and I have grown real close over the years. The fallbackers in the city are working with us to put this together. But come out and enjoy it. It'll be a nice reunion. It's going to be from 12 to 4 at the playground. So anybody, any athletes that played at the playground, come out, enjoy, and you might see some old friends and some old faces you probably hadn't seen in a long time. So
We could possibly go one way on that time as well.
it's possible.
And the reason we do the one-way, guys, is so fire can get through, because people kind of park on the side of the road. So if we go one way, it gives them a little more room, and people start double parking, cars coming both ways. It's a little different. That's the reason we try to go one way, to eliminate the congestion area right there, just to give you a heads up.
But Harahan's got a lot of good events going on. I mean, it's really a good time in Harahan, and want everybody to come out and just enjoy it and reminisce some old stories with some old friends, and come out and enjoy it. Thank you, Eric. For calls for service last month, we had 733. We had 6 traffic accidents. We issued 121 citations. We had 134 patrol requests on businesses and residents. We had traffic enforcements of 255. We had medical rolls of 92. We had burglar alarms I added. We had residential burglar alarms that went off, 28. We had 1 stolen plate reported on our flock system that came through the city, and we had 7 stolen cars that hit on the cameras that came through our city. We had 37 arrests. We had 59 charges. 10 of the charges were felonies, 32 misdemeanors, 17 city charges. Out of those, we need to write another ticket now for that. He's got a race car. We had 27 fugitive arrests, that meaning had attachments for not showing up for court. We had 1 DWI arrest. We had 2 traffic arrests. We had 8 narcotic arrests, and we had 21 other municipal arrests. We had assaults 4. We had resident burglaries 3. We had 5 thefts. We had 1 attempted theft, 1 bank fraud, and that's where the scams are coming in. We had 1 counterfeit money that was tried to be passed at a local business, and we had 1 extortion arrest on property crime. And like I say, just stay safe, and if you see something, say something, and if you have an emergency, call 911. But we do respond to all calls. I've already looked into the claim that was made earlier, and I'll get a report back to here shortly. All the phone lines, everything that comes into the city of Harahan is on a recorded line. So if you call that number, it's recorded, and it'll be there when I get out of this meeting. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Councilman Asbill?
No report. Just want to say Happy Easter and Happy Passover. Thank you.
Councilman Buddy?
No report. Happy
Wait, 1
Easter.
second.
Happy Passover. Thank you.
Councilman Chatelain?
Guys, I had Josh Muner from the Riverside Country Club reached out. He couldn't make it tonight. He just wanted to let everybody know Riverside has a lot going on. I mean, he's got a list right here I could read, but Riverside's got a lot going on, and they replastered the pool. There's a lot of new friendly faces there. They're looking to see, new people to come join. They renovated the pool, clubhouse upstairs renovated. They redid the pool. I know the tennis courts, the lights all working. And they're having an open house on the weekend of May 10th and 11th. It's pretty much open to anyone. They're looking for new members, new guests to come in, join, swim, bring in new ideas, and they're willing to work with everybody. I believe in here it said they're getting a new parking lot hopefully in the next week. So Riverside's on the move. They're trying to do new things and move forward with it. I will say, and I did say it early, I mean, this Mayor for the Day deal, it's pretty fun. I mean, if I had that opportunity when I was a kid, I would have did it. And I really didn't have to have that opportunity because I was very close with Mr. Carlo when I was a kid. I spent a couple days with him in and out, and I really enjoyed it. I believe that's what got me involved in government. And but we really enjoyed it, and I'm glad he came, glad he could do this today.
Councilman Johnson?
Oh, me? Okay. First, Mayor, I want to tell you that Brian and you did a great job at that walk of honor. It really looks nice back there. I want to let you know that. Mayor, I want to ask one question, though. Why we took the pole down in the middle of the playground, that one we had there for over 50 years?
We
the
just
flagpole.
We moved it to the other side of the thing, just so it would be a more central location for the flag.
Because it was in the way with parking, is that
Yes,
why?
and I'll speak up for
I
that.
always thought that when it was there in the middle, I always said it's in a bad spot, but it was been there for over 50 years. And I really thought you moved it because you have the American flag in front the wall, you
So-
know?
And
we
we moved it
didn't-
over to the,
It's on the other side of the gym?
it's on that where the concession stand is. It's that big sucker right
Where
in
it's
the
over
middle.
by the big field?
It's in
Yes,
between
yes.
all three fields.
Oh, so you can see what this
Okay.
So everybody can see it.
Okay,
So
that's
we did
fine.
put a
I
light-
just
we did
wanted to
put
ask you why,
A
'cause
light
it-
shining up on it.
Oh,
and
great.
also that pole, someone must have backed into it. They had a hole in that pole. So we replaced that pole because the integrity of that pole was not sound, and it should have been moved a long time ago. I'm glad it's gone. A lot of people are questioning why the flagpole's gone.
Well, people are calling me, asking me, I see people on the street, I see them at McDonald's, I see them, and they ask me why they moved the pole, because it's been, like I said, over 50 years. and-
Yeah, but someone did
But
hit that flagpole and they had a hole in
It
it.
was in the way. I mean, it was. You had to work it back into it and stuff like that, but you moved in the middle of the
Yes, sir.
field over there.
You see a big old 8x10
Okay.
flags on
All
it.
right.
And you could see it from all three fields to say the national anthem and
You can see
everything
it
else.
from
Okay,
space.
great. All right.
Thank you.
That's all. Happy Easter, everybody.
Councilman Briggs?
I just want to say Happy Easter. I hope everybody has a great time with their family, and I hope the weather's great. So that's it. Thanks.
Again, I'm very proud of the memorial. I'm very thankful for the community to give me that opportunity. Again, I want to wish everyone a happy Easter, and we're going to have Madam Clerk pay the bills, and then we're going to have Mayor Dietzway adjourn the meeting.
Pay bills. Bills paid in March 2025. Total expenditures, $420,221.66. No executive session. Adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to adjourn.
The meeting is now adjourned.